Okay, so let's continue on looking at Phaedrus and Socrates. So I'm on the top of page 2. Now, Phaedrus says, there's another word in here I'm going to want to get. Phaedrus says, enough. I see that I have no hope of practicing my art upon you. The art he's talking about here is memory, the art of memorization. So Phaedrus says, Phaedrus wants to test his memory. So he says, Socrates, I'll summarize everything Lysias said. And Socrates says, no. You have the speech on you. Just read the speech. I don't want you practicing your memory on me. Let's see the exact words. You might get it wrong. And so Phaedrus says, I can see I have no chance to practice my art upon you. The word art there is an excellent word to talk about for a little bit. It's a really important word. It's an important word because it's a word that it's a word that you know already. You know what art is. But it's being used in a weird way here that you may not be familiar with, although actually I will show you, you secretly already know what this word means. But it's one of those words that you often don't look up. Students will look up words like perambulate because they definitely don't know that word. But a word like art, you feel like you should know that. It's a short word, you've heard it before, but it's being used in a funny way here. You're used to art, meaning like paintings and sculptures and music and stuff. That's all art. Art is like paintings and sculpture, especially, is art. The arts, though, include novels and music and all that kind of stuff. But the word art has a bigger meaning than that if you look it up. And again, you'd have to read. It's one of those things where you're going to get multiple definitions, and you have to look up to figure out which one fits for the situation. And memory does not seem like an art in the way that painting or sculpture is. Art means skill. Art is a word that means skill. A famous example of skill is painting and sculpture, and that's why we call painting and sculpture and music and all that stuff is art, because it takes a lot of skill to do that stuff. But the word art really just means skill, and you secretly know this already. If you learn hand-to-hand combat techniques, what's that called? The martial arts. It's called the martial arts. For starters, why is it called martial? Because martial is related to the word Mars, and Mars is the god of war. So why is it when you learn like karate or something, it's called the martial arts? Why is it called the martial arts? Because it is the arts, the skill of martial, of the god of war. So it's the skills of the god of war is what you're learning. When you learn the martial arts, you are learning the skills of the god of war. Similarly, many of you guys as freshmen in college, one of the most common things to major in when you go to college is the liberal arts. Why is it called the liberal arts? Art means skill. So it's the liberal skills. It's the skills for liberal people. Liberal there is being used in a way that you might not be super familiar with. But liberal means free. Liberal means free. So the liberal arts, if you major in the liberal arts, those are the skills of the free people. As opposed to what? As opposed to slaves. See, if you're a slave, you only need to know one thing, right? If your job is to pick cotton, then you only need to know that one thing. And actually, slave masters do not want you learning extra shit, right? They don't let slaves go learn other arts like history. Why? Because slaves learn too much, they start rebelling, and they want to be free. They want to be liberated. They want liberty. Give me liberty or give me death. Liberal means free. So the liberal arts are the skills of the free people, as opposed to slaves. Slaves only need one skill, picking cotton, for example. And slave masters try to keep them from learning other things. But the liberal arts are the skills for free people. What does that mean? It means that and it goes back to ancient Greece again. We're back to Plato. In ancient Greece, they believed that if you were not a slave, if you were like a free person, then you should know a little bit about everything. You should know a little history, you should know a little philosophy, you should know some economics, you should know a little math, you should know a little science, because free people should know lots of different things. And the modern day college is based off of this concept. The modern day college is 100% based off this idea of the skills for free people. If you major in the liberal arts, you are majoring in the skills of free people, and that's why they make you take a history class, and they make you take a math class, and they make you take a science class, and they make you take all these different kinds of things. Now, by the way, even if your major is not liberal arts, it doesn't matter. You're going to a liberal arts college, which means even if your major is like nursing, At a liberal arts college, they're still going to make you take a little science, a little math, rhetoric. This class we're taking this class, no matter what you want to major in. At a liberal arts college, you're always going to get like half of your education is going to be liberal arts, meaning skills of the free people. That's history, that's math, that's science, that's foreign languages, all the whole world, all the stuff, literature, linguistics. You got to learn all of that stuff at a liberal arts college, no matter what you major in. If you choose to major in the liberal arts, you're essentially going to continue learning a little bit of everything. But even nursing students have to learn a little bit of everything at a liberal arts college. What's a learning environment that's not a liberal arts college? Because some of you guys are like, why do I have to take these dumb classes? All I want to do is be a computer programmer, and now I have to take Shakespeare classes with Professor Kloss. This sucks. Couldn't you just, because a lot of BMCC students especially, they come to college because they want a better job and more money. But they want to, let's say they want to be like a nurse. Then why do they have to take a Shakespeare class? It seems stupid. Couldn't you just go to school to learn the one thing you want to know? You can. There are schools like that. The problem is that they're probably teaching you things you don't want to know. So for example, if you would like to be a plumber or an air conditioner repair person, or a security guard, you can go to school just to learn how to do those things. And their school's not going to be very long because there's not that much to learn. But you can go and learn just how to be a plumber or how to be a carpenter or how to be a mechanic. You can go to school, and when you go to those schools, they will not make you take a Shakespeare course because they're not liberal arts schools. They're what's called vocational schools, which means they're schools just to teach you how to do a job. Vocational has to do, your vocation is your job. So if you go to become an air conditioner repair person, or actually, if you're going to go to, you can go to chef school. That's a great example of something you could do. You can go to school to be a chef. Go to cooking school. They will not make you take a Shakespeare class. They won't make you take a math class. They won't make you take a science class. They're just going to teach you how to cook. So those are what's called vocational schools because they're just there to train you to do a particular job. But a liberal arts college is even though you come to college because you probably want a better job, liberal arts colleges are trying to teach you how to be a complete human being. If you are a free person, if you are a liberal person, then you should learn a little bit of everything. And so that's why when you come to this school, they make you take all of these different classes. So there are alternatives to this, but CUNY is a liberal arts school, and that is why you learn the liberal arts, the skills of the free people. And the idea of what should a free person know goes back to ancient Greece, goes back to Plato. And one of the main things they thought you should know is rhetoric, the art of persuasion. So I know I went off on a big thing there and I kind of left Plato behind for a second, but I think that's an important thing to understand about what this is. I told you this class, I'm going to teach you this stuff for the class, but I'm also going to teach you stuff about college in general. And it's a key part of college in general is this idea that you should be learning multiple things because you're a free person. Because if you only know how to do one thing, if you only ever learn one thing, then you're very, very limited. You're kind of locked in. You can only do that one thing. Yeah, okay. Cool. By the way, a lot of my students think that couldn't they just learn their jobs? They don't want to take all these classes. And I understand that, right? They just want efficiency. Like, can't I just learn how to be a nurse and then go home? Why do I have to learn Shakespeare and whatever? One of the most dangerous things about that is that, because there's a lot of teachers here at BMCC that think students should just learn kind of job skills, I guess. The problem with that is if BMCC is just here to help people get good jobs, then the only people learning Latin, philosophy, theater, history, if BMCC becomes just a school to teach you how to get a good job, a vocational school and not a liberal arts school, then the only people learning history and theater and painting are rich kids. Because it means that NYU becomes the place you go to learn those things, and other people don't get to learn them. It becomes a class thing where only rich people get the liberal arts, and all of the people who go to cheaper schools just get like respiratory therapy classes. So one of the things I'm trying to do in the college is to really, I'm like the liberal arts guy. Like, you should learn a little bit of everything, and rhetoric is one of those things everybody should know. Everybody should know how to use words persuasively. Okay, well, I got a little off there, but I still think that was interesting, right? All right, let's keep going.